In this video, we're going to be going over what we have learned so far on the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack. Hey everybody, welcome to StudioSec. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if it's helpful, comment down below with your thoughts on this event, and subscribe for more content. I'm posting more every week. On May 8th, it was announced that Colonial Pipelines had been struck with a ransomware attack. Now, this particular form of ransomware is known as DarkSide, and the particular group that is suspected for having carried out this attack is believed to be residing in Russia. Now, why this is such big news? Well, Colonial Pipelines manages a huge chunk of the East Coast supply of gasoline and oil. And so because its production systems had been hit by ransomware, as a precautionary step, it shut down its industrial control systems that controlled those pipelines. So as of the week before this video was posted, there was a pretty big supply shortage of gasoline and oil on the East Coast. Now on May 13th, operations resumed, and after initially saying that they were not going to be paying the ransom, it later came out that Colonial Pipelines paid up to $5 million to get their systems. Now that's pretty crazy, right? So why did this happen? Well, there are a few rumors out there, but let's kind of go through what may have really happened. There's one rumor is that there was a social engineering attack. One was that it was tied to the exchange hack. But ultimately, the prevailing theory is that production systems were not updated, and that allowed attackers to gain entrance into the network. And another one of those rumors actually is that they actually bought their access. And in case you aren't familiar, hackers will gain access to a network and then they will sell that access. And so another group can purchase that access and then install their ransomware if they'd like to, or do something else with that access. But either way, access was given to the attackers by not secure practices, and ultimately the attackers were able to upload the ransomware strain known as DarkSide, freeze up the production systems, causing Colonial to freak out and shut down their SCADA systems on the pipeline end, and it kind of cascaded into this massive problem. Another thing to consider is that Colonial Pipelines had been seeking out new cybersecurity staff prior to this event, and of course now they're doubling down on those hiring promises. But this might indicate, smaller staff, or maybe their security staff was stretched pretty thin, and so there could be a number of and so while there's plenty of blame to go around, more information is probably needed on their cybersecurity department and how it's run before really passing any kind of condemnation on them. Now, obviously, what was the impact of this event? The supply of gasoline was really short for much of the East Coast for much of this last week. And so that caused long lines, that caused actually outages of supply in certain places. And so that kind of thing can cause panic amongst people that may not really understand what's going on. Now, this is also a sobering look at what can happen whenever a cyber criminal group is able to access critical infrastructure, and what a nation state could potentially do should we get into some sort of a conflict with a near peer or any kind of nation state, or we allow our industrial control systems to be run or managed by insecure organization. So how exactly do we move forward from here? Well, obviously it's going to be some of the same things that we learned from the exchange hack, which is update your stuff. Just install the updates. I know that it's a challenge, especially the larger organization you are. It can be hard to institute wide-ranging updates and upgrades, especially if you're coming in from several generations behind. But it's incredibly important, because if you don't, you can end up just like Colonial Pipelines. Another is take backups of your databases and your information that you are storing around your environment. So that way, even if an attacker is able to gain access and install ransomware, they are not going to be able to keep you in that vulnerable position. You can just revert back to your previous backup and roll from there. And you can, even if they continue to harass you, you just continue to revert until you are able to upgrade your environment and get enough eyes on the situation that you can actually cause some level or get some level of attribution and secure your environment long term. Now, of course, the last point is a hard one. It's take cybersecurity seriously. Now, of course, I mean more serious than just saying that you take it serious. Money matters, and the flow of money in an organization is ultimately indicative of its priorities. And so if a large amount of money is flowing towards its cybersecurity, then you can tell that they take cybersecurity pretty seriously. Now, obviously, there's a lot about this that we do not know about Colonial Pipelines. They may be taking cybersecurity systems and it was just a wrong place at the wrong time and things happened. But ultimately, a lesson to take away is this kind of a thing can happen to you if you don't take cybersecurity seriously. And that involves an investment. So definitely take cybersecurity seriously, update your things, and make sure that you are taking regular backups so that way if you get hit by ransomware, you can revert back to a backup and go from there. Now with that, that's all we know so far about the Colonial systems. There will be more information coming out as we learn more. This obviously kind of blew up into a bigger situation than normal, just because it was an industrial control system and, it involved oil supply for much of the East Coast. So that's a pretty big deal whenever it is, a denied service, right? So we'll definitely see the kind of response that the federal government and any state government has for this, and if any other governments for that matter respond to this event and institute any kind of changes in cyberspace. So with that, like this video if it's helpful, comment down below with your thoughts on the Colonial Pipeline hack, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.